I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll call to order Lemoore Planning Commission meeting February 22nd, 2021. First off is roll call. Commissioner Clement.
Present.
Commissioner Day.
Present.
Commissioner Franklin.
Present.
Commissioner Mead.
Present.
Commissioner Nix.
Present.
And I am present. Item 3, introduction and installation of new commissioner, Mr. Joey Brewer.
Present.
And he already actually did his oath of office and all in the office.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
He just introduced himself and we can welcome him.
Okay, yeah. Mr. Brewer, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've lived here most of my life. I graduated from Lemoore High, attended West Hills College. I worked for CDCR, and now I'm here on the Planning Commission to try to help the community out.
What is CDCR? I do.
California Department of Corrections.
Okay, sorry. Should have known that.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Planning Commission.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5 is the reorganization of the commissioners, election of officers, the chair and the vice chair.
Okay, so I'm going to open nominations for chair. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Ron Mead.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, I'll close the nominations. Then I'm going to call for a motion to approve the nominee.
Yeah, I'd like to move to approve.
Second.
And I'll open nominations for vice chair. Are there any nominations? You can nominate yourself, by the way. So if you,
I'd like to nominate Michael.
any other nominations?
I'll second that.
Any opposed? Okay, I'll close the nominations. And so we have Ron Mead for chair. And we have Michael Day for vice chair, so everybody can move around. So there weren't any. For vice chair, Michael Day. Okay.
Yeah.
Joey Brewer. Bob Clement.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All aye. Okay.
So I guess we get to move chairs again. Maybe we don't lose. I guess this is kind of superfluous right now, but somebody gets this.
And I got it off this, yeah.
Yeah. I got my glasses right here. Okay, item number 6, public comment. Public comment will be in accordance with the attached COVID-19 policy. This time is reserved for members of the audience to address the Planning Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. It's recommended the speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes each. It is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The Commission is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed which are not on the agenda. Prior to addressing the Commission, any handouts for commissioners will be provided to the Planning Commission Secretary for distribution to the commissioners and appropriate staff. Are there any comments from the public?
We've not received any comments for this.
Okay. Hearing none, Item number 7, approval of minutes, regular meeting, September 14th, 2020. Those minutes have been provided.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Etchewine. We have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Nix. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Okay, public hearing. Plan Unit Development Number 2020-3, revision of Fairway Courtyards. Division Subdivision Map 2020-02, Major Site Plan Review Number 2020-05. A request by G.J. Gardner Energy Homes divide 4.959 acres into 29 single-family lots and 3 outlots. Project is located on the east side of Vine Street, approximately 400 feet south of Iona Avenue in the city of Lemoore. And I guess I will not read the APN numbers. It's not necessary
No,
at
you
this
don't
point in
need
time.
that.
Staff report?
Yeah, Steve Brandt, city planner. So we received a written request from the applicant this morning to continue the item. They would like to make a minor change to their application that's going to affect the size and shape of some of the lots. So we have received that change later today, and so we're reviewing it, and it's not significant enough that it's going to take a lot of extra review. So we believe we can get this to you for the March 9th Planning Commission meeting. So our recommendation would be that you would continue this item to March 9 and hold the public hearing at that time. Oh, is it 8th? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, March 8th. I was thinking about council. Oh, no, wait. I don't know what I was thinking about. It's March 8th. Thank you.
Okay, essentially, the size of the project is not going to change. The roads, the private roads
It's
will not change. Some of the
It's
lot
a few of
sizes
the
may change.
lot, they needed to change some of the lot sizes because they discovered, as you probably know, or if you did read through the staff report, there's a lot of existing improvements from a previous project that was abandoned. So they discovered some electrical transformers that required them to adjust the shape of some of the lots. And so, so they're making that change. And so we wanted you to have a clean version, and our city engineer has not had a chance to review the map yet. So we wanted to be able to have them have a chance to do that before you reviewed it. And so the applicant asked for the continuance so that we could do that.
Okay. It seemed like the lot sizes are fairly large compared to some we've dealt with, and the home sizes have a nice variation from smaller to larger. That probably will not change.
No, the home plans will not change. It's
Okay.
only a few of the lots that just the shape of the lots will change.
Okay, so what we looked at in terms of the elevations and all of that kind of stuff, that's probably going to remain
Elevations
the
will stay the
same.
same, yes. Yeah, so our request was that the commission vote to continue the item to March 8th.
Okay, so we have a recommendation. We continue this item until March 8th. Do we have a motion?
So if I could real quick, before postponing or tabling the item, can we discuss some other items related to the existing project? That if it's feasible, could maybe be worked into the project?
It would be better to do it all at once when the applicant's here to answer questions.
Okay, still a motion to continue until March 8th?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Clement, second?
I'll second it.
Second, Commissioner Gregory. Okay, we'll have a roll call. Commissioner Clement?
Aye.
Commissioner Gregory?
Aye.
Commissioner Brewer?
Aye.
Commissioner Etchewine?
Aye.
Commissioner Nix?
Aye.
Commissioner Day?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Judy,
Thank you.
You're up.
Thank you. And just for the commission's information, some of you already know this. When you continue an item to a specific date, that means that we don't have to renotice it. So that's one of the reasons why we ask for a specific day.
Okay,
Okay.
so this will just be on our next regular agenda, essentially.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so renoticing, so we had to notice a public hearing 10 days prior to this meeting. So as to not spend more money, because public hearing notices are quite pricey. So we have to continue to a date certain, and that's the law. We don't have to. If we don't continue to a date certain, then we have to repost a new public hearing notice. So we're trying to save a few bucks. So some items that are coming up, aside from the G.J. Gardner that will be on March 8th, we have 2 other items that are also going to be on that meeting. At least that's what we're planning for at this point. And so we have Leprino is doing a solar project just to the west of the Leprino Foods West plant, which is out on the west side, west of Highway 41. So they're doing a large solar project out there. That'll be a major site plan review. That'll be coming forward for your review. It's pretty straightforward. We don't see any issues with it, so that will be here. And then there's a property on 19.5 Avenue. There's 9 acres there. It's currently zoned Parks and Recreation. The developer wants to change the zoning to professional office. So there will be like a mix of maybe some retail, some professional office. There's some things that can be done in the professional office site that works well for him. So we're going to bring that forward, and that would end up going to, that would be a recommendation of the Planning Commission, and then it would go to City Council for 2 additional meetings because it would be a zone change. So you would just, if you agree with it, then you would recommend approval to City Council, and then it goes from there. Some other.
Question,
Sure.
is that where the ball fields were originally scheduled for a
Yes.
long time, basically?
Yes, so 19.5 and Cedar, the
Okay.
northeast corner.
Judy, they're moving a lot of dirt there, is that the location?
Are they moving it on that side, on the north side or the south side?
I think they're moving to the south side.
South side.
Yeah, I heard that too, and I don't know what's,
Maybe they're just cleaning it up.
I'm really not sure. I don't know. We have Helena Chemical has submitted an application. They are currently in Hanford, but they're relocating all of their different locations. I think they have 3 different locations in Hanford. They're going to relocate also west of Leprino Foods, west on the west side, north of the railroad tracks. So we're reviewing the application at this time. That's scheduled to come before you on April 19th. So that one's still a ways out. There's CEQA documents that need to be prepared and everything. So it's taking some time, but we'll bring it to you as soon as it's ready. So we're working
That's going to be west of Leprino?
west of Leprino Foods, north of the railroad tracks, and that's zoned light industrial.
Right, and that'll be, entrance and exit will probably be off of College Drive then? Or is it,
It's
no, it's Bush
Industry
Street?
Way, which is north of Leprino Foods. There is a road that goes to the west, Industry Way. So it will be there. And then there's actually a road that goes south off of Industry Way. It's already existing, but it doesn't have curb and gutter or anything. It's called Production Place. So it will be over there. It will be at the southeast corner of Industry Way and Production Place. Production, if you drive out there right now, you take Industry all the way out there and Production goes, and then there's a cul-de-sac. You can actually drive on it, it's paved.
All right.
Judy, I have a question. Is that primarily chemicals and such, right? Helena? Helena is chemicals?
Chemical,
Yeah,
with agricultural,
Yeah.
yes.
So there's no problem with contamination being so close to the college as far as the product? and
We
the
don't think
smells
so,
and
but
stuff?
we're doing the environmental review right now. So, and it's all contained within their buildings, and they have to abide by all the air quality and the, the groundwater. All of those are being reviewed in the negative declaration, and we go from there.
Good. I
But
thought
we
there
don't
might
see
be
that
some-
it's going to be a problem.
Thought there might be some product outside and then it'd have an issue with smell.
Yeah.
That's
Their,
not,
their operational statement says that they do all the mixing inside the building.
Right,
Are they wanting to use the rail line as well?
yes. Yes. Let's see, we just hot off the press today received an application for a Johnny Quick. It'll be a gas station, convenience store, and a car wash out on the west side. North of Bush Street, just west of the 41 off-ramp. So right there, I don't know if you're familiar where Walmart was going to be, but that would be to the east. of the Walmart site. It's in between the off-ramp and Bellhaven. There's a small area there, so they've submitted an application. So we've been waiting for this one to come in. They finally did submit the application today electronically. So we'll start working on that in the next few weeks and get that to you as soon as we're ready. on
So
that
we
one.
could have 3 of those around the 41 and Bush Street, excuse me, interchange.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, you're talking about gas stations?
yes,
So we already have 3.
right, we already have
Yeah, so that'll be a 4th one.
3. Okay,
Yes, but it'll be on the west side.
okay.
What, Judy, sorry, you said what else is it? It's gonna be car wash and a gas station and
Yes, a
stores?
convenience store.
Okay.
Is there going to be any problem with traffic circulation?
We've reviewed this already with Caltrans because we've been working with this developer for a while. We know that there's going to be issues. We've talked about roundabouts with Caltrans at that location. So Caltrans has also already done their review of this site plan because they submitted a preliminary site plan to us. So we had to do our due diligence, like, is this even feasible at this site? So they said if we're willing to put the roundabouts in, which with the approval of the Lemoore housing subdivision out there right next to West Hills College, that was part of that. They are required to put the roundabouts in order for them to build their homes out there. So it's already in place. So this is just gonna, it's gonna need to be done in order for this project to happen. We're gonna have to do a roundabout at the off-ramp and at Bellhaven. And so there's going to be a couple of roundabouts, but once people go through there, they'll get used to them. I don't know if all of you have gone around roundabouts already. The first time you go through one, they're tricky because you're like, okay, which lane, where? And then once you get used to it, you know, it's pretty easy. But that will allow easy access into, because the entrance will be off of Bellhaven. It's not going to be off of Bush Street into the Johnny Quick site. It will be off of Bellhaven. So people will go through a roundabout and then another roundabout. They'll go on Bellhaven, get in there, and then they'll be able to come out, get back in the roundabout. And if they want to come get back on Highway 41, they can, or they can go to West Hills or back into town.
So is that going to do something for all that traffic in and out of Leprino West there?
Is it going to do something?
Like help it?
It should help whenever there's the congestion that's going on right now, like at 8 in the morning and then after
And
school
3 in
gets
the
out.
afternoon.
This is going to help because the traffic will continue to flow unless people get in the roundabout and stop,
Well,
which, you
they'll
know,
go round
but
and
once they
round?
are familiar with it, things will flow.
Okay.
It should flow pretty easily. So yes, that's the reason why we initially looked at that site and wanted to look into, we had talked about Diverging Diamond. Remember that a while back? Initially, they wanted 8 lanes under the freeway. That was reduced down to 7 lanes, and then it was 7 lanes for years. And we're like, we're not going to have, this isn't Fresno. We're not ever going to have that much on the west side. So what can we do to make this happen? We already are not going to build west of Marsh Drive. Marsh Drive is right on the other side of West Hills College. So we're already not going to build that way. We've told the Navy, we've got a resolution in place that we're not going to go that way. So we're kind of contained right to where it is. We don't need 7 lanes. So then they looked at the Diverging Diamond. That was going to be 4 lanes, 2 lanes, 2 lanes, 2 lanes over, 2 lanes back. And then it was going to crisscross. And it was a very neat design, and they do it in other states. But that was also going to cost a lot of money. I mean, we're talking millions of dollars. And even the roundabouts are not cheap. Those are going to be millions of dollars too. But for the amount of housing and college and everything commercial that's going to be on the west side, those should be, the way Caltrans has approved it is those should be able to be in place. They're calling it 10 years. I believe those are going to last longer than 10 years because unless it just exploded on the west side and then we grew even further. But I don't see that happening in 10 years. So I believe these roundabouts are going to last probably 20 or more years, maybe 50 years. I think they'll last a long time. They've had other temporary roundabouts in other cities that have been there for years and years already. So I feel pretty confident that this is going to be the, you know, what's going to make it happen on the west side.
Are both the roundabouts going to be on the west side of?
Both are on the west side. There is one on the east side that's going to be at the off-ramp, on-ramp.
So there'll be
for-
3 then.
There will be 3. It's going to be different. But
It's a lot of
there
roundabouts
will
in a
be
short.
no
stretch.
stopping.
Yeah, that's what I
You
was
know,
thinking.
everybody will be going, you'll go, if you're going to go from here to West Hills, you go in a little jog and a little jog and a little jog, and then you go. So you're just going to have to drive at a little slower pace, maybe.
Refresh my memory, is there anything that is currently zoned north of Bush Street by the college and multifamily?
Yes. You may recall a few years ago, might be 5 years ago by now, but we had an approved apartment complex there. Granville Homes was going to do a project. Now that fell through. After they received their approval, it fell through, so they're not going there. But there is land still zoned for multifamily. Also, the Lemoore project, there is a corner there that's zoned also for multifamily. That's on the corner of College and Bush.
I'm just thinking the project A is never going to come because we've talked about it many times that the railroad won't let any type of underpass, overpass
Right.
to hit Hamtramck on the road and take some of the traffic off of, you know.
Yeah.
around
At some
us.
point in the future, I mean, what the long-term plan is, but we have to get some additional growth out, we have to have some homes out there, is to have an overpass on 198 at 21st, which is basically Marsh Drive up. Marsh kind of meanders there, and then it's 21st. And there's already an overpass there.
For the
It's
train
just
back
that-
in the day. For the train that went to Stratford. back in the
Yes, it was the Stratford, the spur. We've talked to Caltrans about that site, and they said that that overpass would take a lot, millions and millions, probably $40 million to improve that for an actual real interchange. So that's something way in the future, but it is an option. It's an option.
Are we looking at a critical mass of 40,000 for that kind of stuff to happen?
I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the magic number is.
I don't know how any of that really works because I'm new to all this, but the school, the Navy, a lot of people from the Navy use West Hills. Has there been any discussion with, federal funding to help make that happen for easier access to and from West Hills for military? It's probably not easier. It's probably easier said than done, but it's just.
The military doesn't want housing in that area. So any funds that they have would be for a study to determine compatible uses with the military. Compatible uses being something other than residential. So we've not had any conversations about traffic improvements or access improvements to that area. So I would say we've had some conversations with them about funding that's available, but it's not for that.
Well, being involved with West Hills College for 14 years and seeing the master plan, and I don't think West Hills College is going to grow small.
No,
It's definitely going to grow, and they're on the verge of building a new academic center, finally. And I'm looking at, I'm going to show you that map where everything's going to be finished. I mean, that Bush Street 2 lane isn't going to take all the traffic.
right.
Eventually, I mean, other things can happen, like they're saying, maybe there'll be federal funding for the overpass and that'll relieve or.
One of the things, when the roundabouts get to the point where they can no longer handle the capacity on the west side, then the plan would be to have 2 lanes in either direction. And I don't know if there would be stoplights or what there would be. But that's, like I say, several years in the future. I think the roundabouts are a good option. Some people don't like them, but typically when people get familiar with them, they're much easier and it keeps your automobiles moving so that you're not just sitting idling. They're pretty good option. And then we're still working, well, we haven't really done much on Lacey Ranch because we're waiting for the EIR to be complete. So the developer is still working on that. That's, they have to do all of their studies that go into developing the environmental impact report. So we're kind of waiting on that, but that's still moving forward. That's that big housing development, 155 acres up off of Lacey and Lemoore Avenue, the southeast corner. So still working on that. We've got some other little things in the works too, but these are the main things and the things that we'll be bringing to you. I did want to talk to you about, we've identified some items in the zoning code that we want to change, that we want to bring forward a zoning change. And we've talked about this maybe a year or so ago. We talked about some changes we're going to bring forward. We're going to start looking at that again. If you have any comments that you would like to provide, if you have any ideas like, hey, maybe this should be different, or I see this happening in our community, but is there a way to maybe modify that? Anything that you're thinking of, if you could pass that information on to us, that would be great. And you can do it, like the next item is your department reports. So that's a good time. Any of the meetings, you're always welcome to ask us, hey, can you check into this? Hey, what do you think about this? And we can go back to the drawing board and say, yeah, we think that we can maybe modify this code to maybe be better for the community. So you can, during your department reports, or you could just send your comments to us at any time through an email. Email's best, but you can always call us anytime. That's what I got.
Okay. Any other questions for Judy? Comments?
Just real quick, has there been any update about the starting of the development of the that lot appointment, like regarding 41 and Heffron Road?
I don't know when they're going to start. We call it the Fugman because he was the developer on that, the Fugman project. That's there's about 4 to 5 acres of commercial and then about 10.5 acres of multifamily. They are working through some issues there that have unfolded. I'm expecting it to come forward any day. It's already approved by Planning Commission and City Council, so it's already gone. They've already have all their entitlements. So, the next step is for them to submit their building plans. And I apologize, but I don't know if they've already done that or not. I can check and report back to you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Anything else?
Item number 10, Commissioner reports or requests for information. Hearing none, we will adjourn the meeting at 7:30. Thank you.